We talk about AI and how these technological systems actually have become able to solve cognitive physical tasks that have previously been reserved for humans. According to Max Tegmark, life is defined as a process that can retain its complexity and replicate through different stages: a biological stage, a cultural stage, and now a technological stage where we can design its hardware as well, becoming the master of our own destiny. So our intelligence is what makes us human. AI is an extension of this quality. And we talk about deterministic systems which can take over routine actions. On the other hand, cognitive or complex or completely autonomous systems which can take over actions we associate with human judgment, with reasoning and learning. So systems that can operate autonomously and independently without human intervention. On the other hand, we talk about specific and general AI. On one hand, AI can perform fairly simple services. On the other hand, we talk about general AI when we have systems that are capable of performing many different tasks. And this is usually referred to superintelligence. It is associated with the notion of what we call a fully developed conscious machines. So, of course, there are many and countless applications, a huge potential to bring about change if we talk about AI. But remember that there is a case of unpredictability, because it is difficult, only possible to predict what effects this technology will have on individuals and societies. Now, we talk about AI in research. First of all, we need to take into consideration the quality assurance, because in connection with AI research, there may be particular reason to ask critical questions about the quality, the truthfulness, and the relevance of data, because we don't not always know the success of the data, the sources. We don't know, there are metadata that may be absent or may be uncertain. So the imbalance in the material properties on the analysis tools and human interpretations all increase the chances of local fallacies and discriminatory decisions. So this provides a basis, we could say, for uncertainty in relation to interpretations and decisions based on AI. So we have seen in recent years how data can give rise, for instance, to unreasonable decisions. The second one is what we call black box dilemma. You know that this refers to machine learning models that give us a result, or they reach a decision without explaining or showing how they did so. So the internal processes here used and the various factors remain unknown. In other words, there is a lack of transparency in this technology. Another important issue is the case of bias and the fair access to data. Why fair access to data? Because there are so many companies nowadays, actually few companies like Facebook, like Amazon, like Google, that they possess a huge amount, massive amount of data. So there is a risk that large parts of the research related to AI will disregard the requirements for transparency that apply to research otherwise. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, there is a decline in research productivity. So policymakers must actually improve the quality of education and research if we want to evolve and thrive. So AI in research, of course, it's something that can improve the quality of data collected, can support learning between humans and machines. We can leverage new data sources such as social media, tapping into non-traditional data sources. With the support of AI, this can actually enhance the temporal and geographic availability of data and collect real-time information. But remember, there are ethical dilemmas here. For instance, if we use data from social media, what happens? Of course, there are data that are publicly displayed, but this data usually concern private information. So it is ethical or unethical to use this kind of data. There are so many ethical dilemmas, and my suggestion to this that would be that we should go beyond ethical codes. Of course, there are ethical codes, and all researchers should be in contact with the ethical research committees and boards. But beyond this, there are always ethical values, because during your research journey, you will going to face many of these ethical dilemmas. Diversify engagement opportunities. All the AI algorithms are being upgraded over time, so it is necessary to accommodate the new inputs and connections made by experts and scientists. There are many further application opportunities for further growth of AI-supported science and adoption of AI new tools. So many benefits for researchers, because this will liberate time for them. It can boost the diversity, promote decentralization of science. It can help, of course, the adoption of new tools can help promote innovation, and it's an imperative nowadays. So we need to quantify both the direct use of AI, the potential impact of AI across a range of scientific disciplines and research fields. Remember that papers that use AI tend to see an impact premium, more likely to be highly cited both within and outside the disciplines. So almost every discipline has some subfields that see great benefits from AI. So how AI can help scholars and scientists, of course, in the lab, because this can be used to automate tasks such as data collection, analysis, to focus. So this way they can focus researchers on more creative and strategic work. They can help write research articles, to brainstorm, to write, to edit their work, to generate citations, to create bibliographies, to check the plagiarism. AI tools can be used to help researchers also to find relevant journals, to submit the papers, automating data collection, saving time, reducing human errors. It helps streamline experimentation. I mentioned advanced data analysis. There are amazing tools for data analysis that we can leverage, which include predictive analytics and many important efficiencies. So tools which provide sophisticated algorithms enable researchers to uncover patterns, to identify trends, and of course help us to analyze data efficiently. Other tools for literature review, for paper writing, and for any step and any stage of the research process. AI tools for journal publication, for checking manuscript compatibility, for providing language editing suggestions, for identifying suitable journals. And of course, this can help us to write our thesis or dissertation, organize your research, to make the grammar check, plagiarism check, generate ideas and things like that. So we can see today some of these tools that you can leverage. There are some suggestions. For instance, ChatGPT, we all know about this. This provides, can help with the literature review support, except quick information retrieval, and it helps to with the idea generation, writing assistance. Consensus is another tool which actually helps to find relevant research papers. It provides also summaries of its papers, making it easy to assess their relevance. Site Assistant is an AI tool that helps to find, read, and understand scientific literature. So it helps to identify relevant papers, to track the progress, collaborate with others, extract information for papers. And Elicit is another research assistant that helps to brainstorm, to research and write, can be used to create presentations, can generate ideas, find relevant information. Insightful is another one which has two the main sub tools. The first one, it's called the paper discovery, which is important because it builds a network of papers from citations. It gives network analysis algorithm to analyze the network, and in this way you can find similar papers, important papers, and it's very, very interesting. On the other hand, another tool here is a sub-tool of Insightful is Literature Connector, which helps to bridge two domains, allows to enter two papers and give us an interactive visualization at the same time, showing how they're connected by the literature. All these tools are available for you to discover. Of course, Typeset is another platform which is useful for research collaborations. It provides citation reference management, predefined formatting templates, general selection recommendations. It helps for writing assistance, plagiarism check. Scholarly is another digital assistant online tool that reads and summarizes article reports and book chapters, identifies key information, breaks down data into relevant categories, and also it helps in the automatic extraction, of course, of references. Research Rabbit is a tool that fast-tracks our research, allows visualizing the scholarly network of papers and co-authorships in graphs so that users can follow the work of a single topic or author, dive deeper into the research. So it can also help visually explore connections between fields, authors, and camps. BTI is another tool that helps coordinate and organize all our documents and notes with our personal projects. Trinka, an online sentence structures checker, and language proofreader tool. Amazing tools for finding research gaps that help us to highlight overlooked or underexplored study areas, such as Power Drill or Litmap, that allows to visualize relationships between different papers in literature review. Tools for helping us to make the first draft of a literature review, size, space. For instance, for fast checking, apps like MirrorThink help scholars scrutinize papers, verify questionable assertions. For data analysis, I said before, there are many tools you can leverage for quantitative research, and it's amazing because you can also visualize all this raw data into comprehensive visualized representation. For peer review also, and for grammar, also there are many for references, for article summaries, academic semantics, SciSpace is another tool that helps researchers to publish their work, to save, help us to save time. ProofHub, another tool that offers task management, file sharing, communication, time tracking, workflow automation. All these tools are amazing, but the way that we use this tool is, I think, the major challenge, because the way we use them, we have seen all this debate that has been raised with ChatGPT. We should have in mind the AI ethics always in research, because there is a gap. Unfortunately, still, there are no sufficient guidelines and norms about how we can use AI tools in research. So there is a gap. That's why, as I said before, we need to go beyond ethical codes and use ethical values. Those AI standards, of course, will rely on ethical values and not normative and legal regulations. These tools should be aligned with ethical, legal, and social issues. Should consider about data privacy. I mentioned before about how we can use data from social media, for instance, is something that creates ethical dilemma. Research ethics boards are always important for this, ensure that ethical practices are followed during research projects to ensure participant protection, that advantages outweigh the harms. Before concluding, what we say that the main principles we talk about AI ethics in research should be responsibility, explainability, validity, privacy, data protection, informed consent, of course. Another big issue, how can I conduct a research, for instance, as a non-participant observant among, for instance, drug users or drug sellers who don't want to use, who don't want to give informed consent? It is ethical or unethical to conduct this kind of research. The benefits of risk assessment, safety, security, transparency, validity, effectiveness, diversity, inclusion, accessibility, universal design, guidance to assess ethical research. So we need clear articulation of our purposes. Always have in mind ethical reviews. We talk about publications, we talk about conferences, general editors, or should invite stakeholders in order to exchange ethically their ideas and their knowledge. Venues for open exchange can provide opportunities to share our experiences with ethical reflection. So trustworthy AI should be lawful, ethical, robust, and based on main ethical guidelines such as human agency and oversight, transparency, civic technical robustness, diversity, no discrimination, societal, environmental well-being, compatibility. And of course, this has to do with fundamental rights of freedom of individuality, respect for democracy, citizens' rights, principle of fairness, prevention of harm, of respect for human autonomy. So artificial intelligence, of course, is a tool and not a threat. And I hope that this was an invitation for you to explore so many amazing, powerful tools that can liberate our time. You can imagine what was happening the past years for researchers. We had to work for hours and hours to search for literature reviews, search for papers, to make our own connections. And what happens here with so many tools? It's amazing. So it's up to you to leverage in wise way, of course, in ethical ways, these tools. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.